morning, friends. I'm Dr. Pinky Devi. I'm a board certified plastic surgeon practicer at Bangalore at Pink Apple Aesthetics. Today, I'm operating on a 65-year-old gentleman who has come with the eyelid back for a lower blepharoplasty. So, let's just learn a few simple things about blepharoplasty and who are the ideal candidates for this procedure. As one ages, there are a lot of aging changes which happen in our eyelids and around the eye. So all these things can be easily managed with procedures which are termed under periorbital rejuvenation. In upper eyelid, for example, as one ages, there's a lot of sagging of eyelid skin, there's excess skin, and also some herniation of fat, which results in a very older look to the person. This excess skin can be to the extent that it can block a vision of the person. Also, a lot of people, as they age, they lose a lot of fat on the upper side of the eyeball, resulting in something called an A-frame deformity. So these are the candidates who are, who do well with a simple procedure called blepharoplasty. Also, with aging, our eyebrow may start dropping down in position, also called as brotosis. All of us have a layer of fat around our eyeball, which helps to protect our eye and gives a cushioning effect. But as we age, the septum which holds it behind in position may become lax, resulting in fat herniation. And this can result in a little more older look to a person. So all these changes can be dealt with in a procedure called blepharoplasty. Now, let me just speak more specifically about lower blepharoplasty, which is the case which I am trying to operate today. In lower eyelid, the fat layer which I was mentioning herniates, resulting in some fat pads, are the eye bags, which is normally known as. So these cases, blepharoplasty can be done either under local anesthesia or general anesthesia, depending on the patient and the doctor preference. Basically, we can approach the eyelid in two ways. Either we can go transconjunctivally or transcutaneously. So in transconjunctival approach, we are going through the inside of your eyelid, and it is basically a scarless procedure. In transcutaneous, we are approaching the eyelid through the skin, wherein we are putting an incision just under your eyelash. The approach or the technique used would depend on the issue we need to deal with. Like in a younger patient, say around 35 to 40, whose main complaints are only the fat herniation and not the excess skin. These are ideal candidates in whom we can operate something called transconjunctival blepharoplasty. So in transconjunctival blepharoplasty, we are going from the inside of the eyelid, putting an incision, removing the herniated fat. In many cases where the patient may have a teardrop deformity or a loss of fat in the lid cheek junction. In such patient, we may also reposition this fat layer. Whereas in a little more older patient, say 60-65-year-old, or in any person who has a lot of excess sagging skin which needs to be removed, we prefer going through a transcutaneous approach, wherein we are putting an incision just under your eyelashes, removing the fat pad or repositioning the fat pad depending on the case, and suturing it. So post procedure, as I already said, it's a daycare procedure. The person can go back home the same day. So what are the care we need to take post procedure? Post procedure, we can expect a lot of swelling, especially for the first week, and which gradually reduces over the next 4 weeks. So basic care we need to do is we need to keep a ice compression for next 24 hours after surgery, and your surgeon will give you some pain medication, some medicines to reduce the swelling and also to avoid any infection. So basically, it's a very simple procedure, can be comfortably done under local anesthesia with a beautiful long-term results. For any more queries you may have, kindly contact us at Pink Apple Aesthetics. We'll be happy to help you.